What is so enchanting about Roan Mountain that more than 200,000 people make the pilgrimage each June to its legendary peaks? Why have so many been drawn here throughout time? What resplendent wonders does this land in the clouds hold? To find out, two friends and I jumped in the Jeep along with my old dog Sage and took a road trip to the Roan Highlands. This morning, when we left Johnson City, the skies were already quite cloudy, and we weren't confident the weather was going to cooperate with us. As we climbed higher up Tennessee Highway 143, we could see the clouds pushing their way over the mountains. And as we neared Carver's Gap, it was quite clear the clouds were going to be sticking around for a while. So we pressed on and headed to the Cloudland Hotel site just past the National Forest Pay Station near the highest of the mountain's 5 peaks, the Roan High Knob. Our first stop is at the site of the long-gone Cloudland Hotel. The clouds are showing no signs of leaving, but it definitely makes sense anyone would name this area Cloudland. In fact, clouds cover these highlands over 75% of the year. The overall lack of pesky critters like mosquitoes and snakes, as well as the crisp, cool air, made this spot ideal for a hotel during the height of the health spa craze of the late 19th century. First built as a very modest 20-room lodge in 1877, the Cloudland Hotel became a popular and internationally renowned retreat for those looking to be rejuvenated by the healing airs of the Highlands. By 1885, the original structure was replaced with a more imposing 3-story inn that had over 100 rooms and other features such as a grand ballroom. But sadly, at least according to legend, the whole facility only had 1 bathroom. Ultimately, the building proved too difficult to maintain against the harsh winds of the Rhone and was abandoned in 1910. Today, the only indication the Cloudland was ever here is an informational sign provided by the National Forest Service at the site. From the Cloudland Hotel site, we are heading next to the Roan High Bluff, the second highest elevation on the mountain. The Overlook is about a mile hike from the hotel site and is supposed to have an amazing view. We made it to the high bluff, but the only view we have is more clouds. We cannot even see the sheer 1,000-foot drop in front of us. And then there is the extreme wind. Not only does this wind steal the hat off your head, but it has permanently twisted the tops of the firs as they grow against this formidable force of nature. Now it's time to head back down the Cloudland Trail to experience what brings so many people to the mountain every June, the Roan Mountain Gardens. And here we are, the Roan Mountain Gardens. The mists of the clouds surround and envelop us, creating an ethereal feel as we make our way into this naturally occurring garden of Fraser fir and Catawba rhododendron. It feels both ancient and new at the same time. The wind rustles through the branches of the rhododendrons as we pass beneath. Ferns cover the garden floor at the feet of the Fraser firs. The air is damp and sharp, full of the effervescent scent of an alpine forest. As we make our way deeper into the garden, we begin to feel a sense of mystical amazement, surrounded by the enchanting and somewhat haunting beauty of this remote woodland sanctuary. The Roan Highlands biome is one of the most abundant and diverse temperate zones on the planet, even outmatching the number of unique plant species found just a bit southwest of here in the Great Smoky Mountains. Over 800 different species of plant and 188 known species of bird are found right here. The forests of the Roan have more in common with those found farther north in Canada than that of other more local woodlands, giving us a nice, beautiful, crisp, mid-60s highs for the day. There are many legends and stories that belong to this mountain, but perhaps the most well-known is that it was here, centuries ago, that the Catawba fought the Cherokee in a series of fierce battles. And, as the legend goes, the bloodshed from those battles was so great that it forever stained the once white blooms of the rhododendron to the vibrant fuchsia that now surrounds us. It is these very blooms that draw such a large number of visitors each June. Because of the high altitude, these rhododendrons bloom much later than their cousins found at lower levels throughout the southern Appalachians. What you see around us right now is peak bloom for the over 800 acres worth of Catawba rhododendrons that cover the upper slopes of the Roan Highlands. This stunning display only lasts for a few days in mid-June. One can really get lost in the mystical beauty of the Roan Mountain Garden. And well, we might have, at least for a few minutes, while roaming off the trail and through the towering shrubs. We will just blame it on all of the mist. And while we had expected a clear and sunny day, what we got was much better. A walk in the clouds. People aren't the only thing the rhododendrons draw to their exquisite blooms. Bees and other pollinating insects buzz around the gardens. If you look closely, you will see intricate designs on the petals that help guide bees into the bloom. Now that the clouds have finished their climb over the Roan Highlands and given way to a clear, late afternoon sky, we are headed to the last stop on the garden trail, a small observation platform overlooking a small section of the garden.
Oh, wow.
Here, many of the rhododendrons have already lost their blooms, underscoring just how short the blooms last, as we are here during the peak. However, the rhododendrons are not the only thing to see here. Now that it is clear, we can see several of the peaks of the Black Mountains of North Carolina, including Grandfather Mountain. Sage has had quite an exciting time. There are always new things to see, and in her case, smell, no matter how old of a dog you might be. It has been such a fun day with Brian and Steven up here on Roan Mountain. Now that the clouds have passed over the mountain and we have clear skies and not so much mist, we are going to go catch the sunset over on the high bluff. So come along and let's see a beautiful sunset. We asked what drew folks to this place. We came, we saw, and this adventure answered that question. Roan Mountain is indeed an enchanting place. Hello there, and thanks for watching our adventure. Please like, share, subscribe, and watch more. And please do feed the bears by joining our Patreon. You don't have to be a bear, you just have to roam.